The night air in Manhattan carried the kind of chill that made secrets feel heavier. The Rossi family's annual gala glittered beneath chandeliers, each crystal reflecting wealth that was centuries old and soaked in blood. Men in tailored suits stood in quiet clusters, their conversations edged with power. Women wore silken diamonds, their smiles sharp. Amelia Rossi stood at the top of the marble staircase, a glass of champagne in her hand and a practiced, unbothered look on her face. She hated these events. Every time, it was the same: no whispers, the negotiations disguised as pleasantries, the men assuming she was a pretty accessory instead of a strategist. She adjusted the strap of her black evening gown and scanned the room. Her father had told her to keep a low profile tonight, which was funny, considering that in a hall full of predators, she was one of the few people who didn't pretend to be prey. She noticed unfamiliar faces near the entrancement in black suits, confident but not arrogant. Her heart tightened. De Luca family. She didn't need to see him to know he was here. Lorenzo de Luca. He entered like he owned the air itself. Black tuxedo, dark hair slicked back, lips curved into a smirk that belonged to someone who never heard the word no without laughing. His presence caused a ripple. Some women's eyes followed him. Some men stiffened. The Rossi and De Luca families had been enemies for decades. Alliances shifted in their world, but theirs was a rivalry carved in stone. Amelia forced herself not to stare, but Lorenzo's eyes found hers almost immediately, as if he had been looking for her the moment he stepped in. His gaze swept over her with deliberate slowness, like he was sizing up a challenge he already knew he'd enjoy. Then that infuriating smile appeared. He walked toward her, weaving through the crowd like smoke. She felt her shoulders tense, not out of fear, never, that but out of irritation. She didn't have the patience for his games tonight. Well, he drawled when he reached the base of the staircase. If it isn't the Rossi princess herself. You clean up nicely, Amelia. Her jaw tightened. Lorenzo, she said his name like a warning, not a greeting. He placed a hand over his heart, feigning hurt. So cold. You wound me. I doubt that's possible. You'd need to have a heart first. His laugh was low and genuine, which only made her more annoyed. Tesoro, always with the sharp tongue. One day it's going to get you in trouble. One day, you're going to realize not everyone is charmed by your little act. She started to turn away, but he moved a step closer, not touching her, just close enough that she felt the warmth of his presence. Who said it's an act? His voice softened, teasing but edged with something else. She met his gaze, refusing to back down. I know exactly who you are, Lorenzo, and I'm not one of your conquests. He tilted his head, studying her like she was more interesting than anything else in the room. Good, I like a challenge. Before she could respond, the sharp sound of glass clinking echoed through the hall. Her father, Antonio Rossi, had stepped onto the small stage to make a speech. Amelia reluctantly turned her attention to him, feeling Lorenzo's gaze still on her. Tonight, Antonio began. We celebrate not only tradition but the strength of alliances that keep our families thriving. Amelia's stomach twisted. Alliances, that word always meant deals, strategies, and sometimes betrayals. She caught sight of her father glancing toward the De Luca men, his expression unreadable. Something was happening. Lorenzo leaned in just enough for his breath to tickle her ear. Looks like our fathers have been busy. Shut up, she hissed without looking at him. I'm just saying, Bella, maybe we should dance before the world changes around us. Her eyes snapped to him. What the hell are you talking about? But he didn't answer. He just smirked, that infuriating, knowing smirk, and stepped back as her father raised his glass. 2 new partnerships, Antonio declared, and to the future of both families. The room erupted into polite applause. Amelia froze. Lorenzo was watching her like a cat watching a mouse, realized the trap was already set. After the speeches, she found her father near the bar. What is going on? She demanded under her breath. Antonio didn't meet her eyes. Not here, Papa, not here. His tone made it clear this wasn't the moment to argue. She stormed away, heels clicking against marble. And of course, Lorenzo followed like a shadow who found the whole thing amusing. Why do I get the feeling you're about to cause trouble? He said lazily. Because you're irritating, she shot back. And because I don't like surprises, especially ones that involve your family. But surprises keep life interesting. No. She spun to face him. Do you ever stop talking? He leaned in slightly, grin widening. Only when I'm kissing someone. Want to test it? Her eyes narrowed. In your dreams, De Luca? His chuckle followed her as she walked away, but for the first time, she wasn't entirely sure if it annoyed her or unsettled her. Outside on the balcony, the cold air bit at her skin. She needed space to think. The stars were faint against the city lights, but she stared at them anyway, pretending the world wasn't shifting beneath her feet. She heard the door open behind her. She didn't need to turn. Go away, Lorenzo can't, he said. Your father asked me to find you. She turned, arms crossed. Why? He gave a small, infuriating shrug. Apparently we're supposed to start getting along. Some big deal between our families. I wasn't really listening. I was too busy watching you glare at me. She almost laughed. Almost. You're unbelievable. He stepped closer, serious for the first time that night. Amelia, whatever's happening, it's not just about business. I think our fathers are planning something bigger. Something that involves us. She stared at him, her heartbeat picking up for reasons she didn't want to examine. And why should I trust you? Because, he said, voice dropping. For once, I'm not joking. Something in his eyes made her hesitate. Just for a second. And that second would be the beginning of everything neither of them saw coming.